Cosmic Wanderer, this is Mission Control. Telemetry is green, suit integrity nominal. You are now approaching Saturn, the sixth planet from the Sun, orbiting at an average distance of about 1.4 billion kilometers out in the cold outer reaches of our solar system. Saturn is a giant world made mostly of hydrogen and helium, the second largest planet in our solar system. Even though it's almost 10 times wider than Earth, its average density is so low that, in theory, it would float if you could drop it into a vast enough ocean. Wrapped around it are the famous rings, enormous bands of ice and rock stretching hundreds of thousands of kilometers across, yet in many places thinner than a city block. A delicate, shining disk hanging in the dark. As you approach the rings, you can see just how enormous they really are. A flat disk so wide you could line up several Earths side by side along it, yet so thin that in many places it's almost razor-like when viewed edge-on, made of countless pieces of ice and rock orbiting together in near-perfect patterns. From up here, the rings look solid, like a giant frozen disk, but they're really made of billions of separate pieces, from tiny icy grains to chunks the size of mountains, all kept in place by Saturn's gravity and the tug of its moons, carving out gaps and waves like ripples in a cosmic lake. From this height, the rings look smooth and solid, but they're anything but. Prepare to descend. You're about to slip inside the rings themselves. For all their size, the rings are surprisingly delicate. If you could collect all this material into a single body, it would barely be enough to make one medium-sized moon. Yet spread out like this, it creates one of the most spectacular structures in the entire solar system. As you move through the rings, you can see that they're made of countless pieces of ice and rock, from tiny grains to boulders, all silently orbiting Saturn at tremendous speeds. Up close, they drift past like slow snow, but every fragment is racing around the planet in a precise, invisible dance as you continue your descent toward Saturn. As Saturn fills your entire visor, you're looking at a world made almost entirely of swirling gas, bands of clouds racing around the planet on winds that can reach over 1,500 kilometers per hour. Its day is so short that this giant globe spins once in just about 10.5 hours, stretching its atmosphere into fast-moving stripes and storms, including the strange hexagon-shaped cyclone that endlessly churns around its north pole. Saturn has no solid surface waiting below these clouds, just layers of gas growing denser and hotter as you sink deeper, eventually blending into oceans of liquid hydrogen around a hidden core. Prepare to enter the atmosphere and begin your fall into this giant. You first plunge through the high, thin clouds of ammonia crystals, tumbling past pale, hazy layers as they rush by your visor. For now, your descent feels surprisingly familiar, dropping at a pace not so different from what you would experience on Earth. The temperature and pressure now rise rapidly around you, and Saturn's own internal heat begins to overpower the cold of space, turning your gentle fall into a deeper dive toward the hidden layers of this giant world. As you fall deeper, something surprising happens. The temperature and pressure climb to values similar to those on Earth, and in this narrow band of Saturn's atmosphere, water vapor can condense into water clouds, drifting far above the unknown depths below. As you fall into the planet's depths, sunlight no longer reaches this far. The sky above fades into darkness, but down here there is another source of light, You are now falling into deep darkness. Activating your suit's low-light sensors and external lights so you can still see what's unfolding around you as you descend. At the deepest edge of the atmosphere, you cross into what is essentially Saturn's mantle, a vast, planet-wide ocean of liquid hydrogen, squeezed by pressures millions of times higher than at Earth's surface, with no solid ground anywhere beneath you. This hydrogen ocean around you is immense. It spans tens of thousands of kilometers in depth, so large that you could fall through it for hours at tremendous speed and still be nowhere near whatever lies at Saturn's distant core. After what would amount to months of falling, you would finally reach Saturn's solid core, a dense, rocky heart buried beneath a vast, crashing ocean of metallic hydrogen, squeezed so hard it behaves more like a glowing metal than a gas. Cosmic Wanderer, this mission was a success. Prepare yourself. Other adventures are already waiting for you among the stars.